In this fourth part of the review, I'm going to discuss Forge, which is a map editor in Halo 3. Forge is a simple tool in Halo 3 that allows you to make changes to existing maps in Halo 3. It's more of an object editor than a map editor, but it's a surprisingly powerful tool. Forge can be used to delete, move, or edit some of the objects on the map. So for example, say you don't like where the sniper rifle spawns on the map. With Forge you can go straight in and move it to take it somewhere else that you prefer. Or maybe you think the rocket launcher should spawn with less ammo than usual. You can edit that as well. You can also change how long it takes for an item to respawn. Think that the rocket launcher to take longer to respawn? You can go ahead and edit that. You can also edit other things, like where the spawn points are or where the flag appears in Capture the Flag games. Maybe you think that people on offense should spawn with a Warthog, you can do that too. In fact, you can do just about everything with Forge. Although there are some limitations, the chances are that if you've got an idea, you'll be able to flesh it out with Forge. Of course, changing where the weapons spawn on the map are pretty minor changes, but you can actually completely recreate a map. Like I said earlier, Forge goes hand in hand with custom games. Most people build a map and then create a game type designed to be played on that map. So for example, you could take Valhalla, a standard map, and then you could turn it into a racetrack and have people start racing each other on it with mongoose. You can mix it up even more by adding rocket launchers and having people on the back of the mongoose firing rockets at the other players. The true potential of Forge wasn't realised until the Heroic Map Pack came out, which is free, so don't worry about forking out any extra money for it, which contained a map called Foundry. Foundry was a map that Bungie designed around Forge, where almost every single object on the level is forgeable. That is to say that every object on the level can be deleted or moved if you want to. Foundry has been used to create some pretty impressive maps, from competitive maps to racetracks and even the Millennium Falcon. It's pretty amazing what some people can create with a handful of crates, boxes and walls. Forge isn't without its flaws though, and there are some pretty stupid limitations. For example, you can't place a Covenant Carbine on the map The Pit. Why? Was there any particular reason for this? And you can't place Scorpion tanks on Standoff, but you can place Wraith tanks. Some people say that this is for the sake of balance, but isn't that the whole point of Forge? You should be able to create exactly what you want. Additionally, as maps have been released, new Forge objects get released with them. Unfortunately, Bungie doesn't update the list of objects available to you for the older maps. So, for example, in some of the maps that you have to pay for, you can place down effect filters to change the look of the map, and it would have been nice if you could have placed these filters on maps that come on the disc. I would have also liked to have seen some kind of option for 45-degree object snapping. As it is, getting walls and crates to fit in a spot perfectly can be a bit of a pain. It would have been nice if you could switch between a grid mode and a free mode, so to speak. The great thing about Forge is that you can test things as soon as you place them. So if you place a teleporter on a level, you can test it out instantly. Or if you want to place a gravity lift down, you can check to see if it takes you where you want it to without having to save the map, quitting, and then going into a custom game. Forge is a simple yet powerful tool that allows you to alter the ways that a map works. There's not a great deal that you can do with the maps that ship on the disc other than changing where the weapons appear, but on Foundry you can pretty much create whatever you want to, and that's the great thing about Halo 3. There are so many ways to play the game that it can appeal to almost every audience. It's just a bit of a shame that there's no way to make objects snap to a 45-degree angle, and I wish that some of the newer Forge objects that get released for downloadable maps could be made available for the older maps that came on the disc. That's it for this section of the review. Click on one of the annotations below to check out a different part of the review.